Hey, welcome folks to our first virtual meeting of 2022. Happy New Year to everyone. Just a couple rules. We haven't done virtual meetings for a while. So just to make things flow along fairly easily, Julie will be doing all the motions and all the votes, and we'll just do quick recorded votes. She will arbitrarily pick a mover and seconder. If you object to moving and seconding something, you just let us know and we can change that. Also, if it's something I think we need to discuss before we call the vote, we'll go ahead and we'll talk about it. But if it's some of the routine things we do, we'll just go ahead with the vote. But that does not mean that you can't question, clarify, or make a statement about any of those items as we go along. One thing that does kind of help with these meetings is if you're not speaking, go on mute. And if you're like myself, that may mean that we have to yell at you to put it off mute again at any given point, because that happens on occasion. But other than that, we'll go straight forward. So again, Happy New Year. And the first thing we need is an approval of the agenda.
So move up.
Second by Tom. Go ahead with the vote, Julie. Just take over.
Sure. Warden French,
Yes.
Deputy Warden Marks,
Yes.
Councillor Mennel,
Yes.
and Chairman Purcell.
Yes.
4-0, the motion is carried.
Okay, and we do have some minutes that we have to approve going all the way back to August the 4th of last year. Julie, just get a mover and seconder and go ahead with those minutes. And if you have any errors, omissions, or any comments, by all means, bring them up as we do the vote.
So to confirm, you said to assign a mover and seconder. So moved by Deputy Warden Marks, seconded by Councillor Mennel. And we'll call the vote. Warden French,
Yes.
Deputy Warden Marks,
Yes.
Councillor Mennel,
Yes.
and Chairman Purcell.
Yes,
4-0, that motion is carried.
thank you. And per normal, we have to have a disclosure of any pecuniary interest you're aware of at this time. Seeing none, we'll move straight on. We'll move on to item 5, which is the construction items. We have 4 items that we're going to be discussing in some detail today to save us all a lot of time and a lot of homework. Brian was good enough. He gave us a report on every one of these items before Christmas. So you've had time to digest them and look them over. Thank you, Brian, for that. We know how busy you've been recently, so that's greatly appreciated. Each of these items has a fairly substantial price tag. So we're going to go through them individually. And then our intention is, after this meeting, is just do a brief summary for County Council. Let them know where we are on the project. This all can be contained within our master budget. So that's not a major issue, but we did say that we'd make sure County Council is informed of any of these types of development, especially with the larger price tags as we go along. So having done that, we'll move on to item number 5.1, the kitchen RTU replacement. It's worth $44.3 thousand. Brian, did you want to add anything to your report that you've sent out?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. This report simply details what was already previously verbally noted to County Council with respect to emergency replacement of an HVAC unit that services the Terrace Lodge kitchen. This unit hadn't been scheduled to be replaced until 2023, so funds had been allocated within the 10-year capital plan to fund its replacement. So unfortunately, as a result of timing, those funds will be need to be brought forward into 2022. And the balance of the recommendations and details are detailed in the report. This work will be undertaken by the county's contract service provider in coordination and cooperation with the county's Terrace Lodge Redevelopment contractor, D Grant. So happy to answer any more questions.
Okay, Julie, I'm going to have us just do a motion to accept the report and recommendations. And if you just do a mover and seconder, and again, if you have any further clarification, just ask Brian as we go around the table.
Sure, moved by Warden French, seconded by Deputy Warden Marks. And we'll call the vote. If there are no questions, Warden French,
Yes.
Deputy Warden Marks, maybe muted.
I am muted, sorry. Yes, I'm in favor.
Counselor Mennel,
Yes.
and Chairman Purcell.
Yes.
4-0, that motion is carried.
Okay, thank you. Item 5.2, the communication and security design. Price tag 415,000, I believe. Brian, you want to do a quick summary and then we'll talk about that one.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair, through you to the committee. This report details cabling infrastructure that needs to be installed as part of the Terrace Lodge redevelopment project. What makes this this matter unique is that it was not originally contemplated or included in D Grant's scope of work. However, it had been budgeted for in the overall project. It was originally intended that county IT staff would take the lead with respect to design and contract administration. But what became abundantly clear is as our contractor is moving through this process quite quickly, staff felt it best that this task be undertaken by our contractor, such is the case with a lot of traditional like builds. And so again, funds exist and we're funded for. We're not asking for any more money in that regard. This report, or a report similar to it, will be presented and tabled before council on the 11th and will require council support to increase the scope of work to D Grant as well. So the report details all the elements. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Okay, before we actually do this motion, you may have a question or two because we need this committee to be able to support this at county and answer any questions. So if you have any questions, go right ahead and speak up now. Otherwise, we'll just do a motion to accept the report and move on to county council with this item. Any questions, folks?
No, I'm ready to move on.
Go
Bob,
ahead,
if I-
Tom.
Just because we may be asked at council, we should know, like, I think I heard Brian say that the IT was going to do that. Are we confident that our contractor will do a better or equal job? Is it just more the fact timing, or I'm sure the rest of the council probably want to know this.
Through you, Mr. Chair, to Deputy Warden Marks, it came down to capacity limitations within the IT department right now, as well as design expertise, and those two elements combined made it quite clear for the team as a whole that this task is best suited. The design prepared by our consultant and infrastructure led by and administered by our general contractor, who, as previously mentioned, undertakes these type of installations as part of similar projects all the time. So we felt as a team that it would result in a more seamless outcome for the overall project benefit.
Thank you. I'm happy with that.
Any further questions? Hey, Julie, if you'd be kind enough to get a mover and seconder and go ahead with the vote on that one.
Certainly moved by Counselor Mennel, seconded by Deputy Warden Marks. We'll call the vote. Warden French,
Yes.
Deputy Warden Marks,
Yes,
Counselor Mennel,
Yes.
and Chairman Purcell.
Yes.
4-0, that motion is carried.
And the next item is 5.3, the interior design services. The 51.5 thousand to actually determine exactly what we're going to do, when and why and how. Brian, do you just want to quickly give a little bit of summary on that? And as you're all aware, we did ask Brian to try to get the best guesstimate in the world of future exposure of the final outcome of this item. what kind of price tag it might have. So Brian, I'll toss it to you, sir.
Through you, Mr. Chair, with your acceptance, I'll actually defer to Mike Hoekstra, who can speak to this item as well as the next one as well.
Hey, Mike, go right ahead, sir.
Great. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good afternoon, everybody. So through you to the committee, this first report that I have is regarding allocating an amount of $51,506 from the project management budget to contract with a consultant to assist staff with interior design services. And this is related to all furniture, fixtures, and equipment items, which include artwork, interior signage, and window coverings. So staff recently issued an RFP for these services and is recommending that L360 Architecture be awarded the project. The consultant will assist staff with a variety of tasks not currently covered in the existing architectural services agreement. And the purpose of the report is to ensure that the committee is aware of this interior design project and also to allocate funding from the existing project management budget. Recommendations before you, and I'd be pleased to answer any questions.
Okay, we'll go around the table. Has anyone got any specific clarifications they need? Okay, seeing none, I did have the couple. Number one, this committee is pretty aware that this was part of our going down to visit Markham and some other places and get some of the ideas. But as we pointed out, staff resources are stretched to the limit now, right now, and this is another excellent opportunity to use expertise to do it once and do it right. Have you been able to get any kind of a guesstimate on what kind of ask is going to flow out of the recommendations from the consultant? Just the ballpark?
Through you, Mr. Chairman, the furniture, fixture, and equipment list was provided as part of the RFP process. So the consultant is aware of what our needs are, kind of an itemized list, but we really need their expertise to select those fabrics and do all that specification type work, so that they can assist us with tendering. So the amount, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, is in the $800,000 to $900,000 range for the entire furniture, fixture, and equipment budget.
Okay, so just for clarification for this committee, because the thing that matters at the county level more than anything, they expect us to get the job done right, but they want to make sure that we're not coming back asking for more money. So at the present time, it looks like we should be able to accommodate within that global budget we have already.
Yes, for sure.
Okay, that's going to be an important question for them. Julie, do you want to go ahead with the motion on that and we'll take that one forward?
Sure, I guess in keeping with the others, the motion would be to receive and file that report and forward information to County Council, moved by Deputy Warden Marks and seconded by Councillor Mennel. So Warden French,
Yes.
Deputy Warden Marks,
Yes.
Councillor Mennel,
Yes.
Chairman Purcell.
Yes.
4-0, that motion is carried.
Okay, and then the final item, the nurse call and phone system. Again, I guess you get to do a quick summary for us and explain that. And it has a very significant price tag of what, 555 grand?
For sure. Yep. Thank you again, Mr. Chairman. So through you to the committee. So this second report that I have relates to just reallocating an amount of $40,000 from the county's FF&E budget to the construction budget. So just briefly, staff issued an RFP for a combined nurse call and building phone system for Terrace Lodge. The RFP was reviewed by staff and our consultants, and the highest scoring firm is KR Communications. So the nurse call system was included as an allowance in D Grant's construction budget, whereas the phone system was included in the county's FF&E budget. In order to proceed in awarding the combined project to KR Communications, staff is requesting that the steering committee approve a reallocation of funds from the furniture budget to the construction budget. So reallocating the funds will allow D Grant to proceed with awarding the contract for the combined nurse call and phone system to KR Communications under a new combined allowance of $554,473. So the overall budget for the redevelopment will not change. It's just a matter of reallocating some funds from our furniture budget. Recommendations before you, I'd be pleased to answer any questions.
Does anybody have any clarification on that before we move on with the motion? Fairly straightforward, just significant dollars involved. But it's, again, a sensible business decision. So Julie, if you'd be kind enough to go ahead with that motion, please.
Sure. In keeping with previous motions, we'll receive the report from engineering, planning, and enterprise, and the procurement officer, and forward that information to County Council for their consideration. Moved by Deputy Warden Marks, seconded by Warden French. Warden French,
Yes.
Deputy Warden Marks,
Yes.
Councillor Mennel,
Yes.
and Chairman Purcell.
Yes.
4-0, that motion is carried.
And as I have previously mentioned, and Julie's mentioned a couple of times, Brian and her will put together a report coming from this committee that will kind of summarize all of these items. Frankly, some of these things have been floated past County Council, but we never were able to put the proper price tags on them or give them specific times that things were going ahead. That's where we've reached now. So I don't think it's going to be a big problem at County Council, but we want to keep them fully informed and be prepared to answer any questions they may have next Tuesday when we meet. So we'll specifically address these 4 items and also give them an overview on where we are with the entire project at that time. Speaking of the entire, we'll move on to item number 6, which is a review of current construction schedule. And Brian, did you want to take the lead on that?
Mr. Chair, I'll actually defer to Stephen, our architectural consultant, who can provide the group with an update.
Thank you, Brian. Good afternoon, everyone. We did, as you know, we have had a fairly wet summer and fall season, and also we've run into some supply chain issues, pardon me, on some of the items, namely metal studs and structural steel earlier on in the project, which has resulted from we're probably around 5 to 6 weeks farther that or delayed from what the contractor had hoped to be. Now we are out of the ground. They're starting to frame up the interior partitions. So I would expect that they will be able to make up some of that lost time in fairly short order once the building gets closed in. They're hoping to close it in probably by the end of January, middle of February. I expect it will be closed in. And so hopefully once it starts boarding and doing some of the interior things, that they should be able to make up a bit of that time. But as of right now, they are about 5 weeks off of where they had hoped to be per their initial schedule. So, Al, did you have anything you'd like to add to that?
Thanks, Stephen. Through the chair, we identify as part of the development agreement with the Ministry for Long-Term Care, the project schedule. That is being revised right now, and the real-time schedule that we have has been provided to the ministry. So they're receptive of issues that we've had to have a difference in the original completion dates with what we're anticipating right now. That's just a quick.
Thank you. And Stephen, thank you for bringing us up to speed on that. One of the things this committee relied on a lot is just been brought up, the graph that we get on progress that's being revised at the present time. That's why we haven't pushed for it for this particular meeting. We're not going to wait for the next meeting. When that's available, we will share it with the committee members, just so you have something visual to look at and understand where we are with the actual progress at the present time. Also, we need to get the master budget summary at least brought up to terms right now, so that this committee knows how much wiggle room we have left for any more speed bumps that we bump into. Brian, do you have any idea when that might be available?
Mr. Chair, we're happy to provide a summary. I would say within a week, if that is a benefit.
Yeah, we don't have that sense of urgency for it. We know how busy you folks are right now and all the problems going on. So when you get it ready, don't worry about trying to hit a 1 week deadline. But we all could need that, and we're not going to wait for another meeting. Just when I suggest you wait and have both of them together. We'll get the graph on progress, and we'll get the summary of the budget, and we'll get it out to these committee members as soon as possible and when it makes sense. Is that all right with all the committee members?
Yeah, that's fine, Bob. I think the good news is anything we discussed today does not increase the budget. It's sort of reallocating some funds from one pocket to the other.
Yeah, and it gives everybody a good opportunity to understand that this is a complex job, and but it's moving along as smoothly as any big job like this can, particularly under the given circumstances. So again, thanks to everybody that's involved, because that's no mean task. We get to meet once in a while like this and talk about these things, but they have to live with it day in and day out. The only other thing I did want to touch base on, Michelle, thank you for joining us. All of these items I know, but maybe the committee hasn't heard direct from you or council. They all fit right in with what you folks need as tools to do your job and what is being recommended by staff. If you'd just like to confirm that for everybody.
Absolutely. I've had the opportunity to be part of the interior design and the nurse call process as well and attend the biweekly meetings. So I'm up to speed and comfortable with the progress and movement forward. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments from the committee members before we almost wrap up? Okay, any other business that I'm not aware of? Believe so. Next meeting, with the committee's permission, we'll leave it at the call of the chair, which means Brian and Julie will tell me when we need another meeting, and we'll set it up like we did this one. It just seems to work better under these particular circumstances. Is that all right with the committee members?
That's fine with me.
Okay. And then we need a motion to adjourn.
Happy to move.
Moved by Deputy Warden Marks, seconded by Warden French. We'll call the vote. Warden French,
Yes.
Deputy Warden Marks,
Yes.
Councillor Mennel,
Yes.
and Chairman Purcell.
Yes.
4-0, that motion is carried.
Hey, thank you. And you will see the summary when we get to county council.